As a guy am I, 32 male. Just supposed to put all my needs aside for my wife, 39 female. TL. Dr. feel like being taken for granted. Our current situation. My wife and I both make similar money, split the mortgage, I pay for everything else in my credit card. I do the laundry, I cook, I do the dishes, I clean, I do the yard work and whatever house maintenance I can. I try to manage all the big projects around the house. I do the grocery shopping, I make fresh squeezed juice for her in the morning. I try to stay in shape. I'm expected to plan date nights, Valentine's Day, anniversary, vacations because she doesn't like planning. I don't either. But somebody has to do it. I don't watch porn. I avoid unnecessary conversations with the opposite sex. I don't drink that much anymore. I would do whatever she wants in the bedroom. I tried to develop these habits to be a good husband. My wife for the most part is apathetic to this. She says I cook because I need to eat, and since I eat, those are my dishes to do. I do the laundry because I go through more clothes. I do all laundry and do not distinguish between whose is whose. So really I do not deserve anything. I guess I don't expect anything from my wife and I don't mind taking care of these things. But in my mind I think I deserve something. Now for me, I am very unsatisfied with our sex life because she just seems very unenthusiastic about it and just wants it to be over. I just wish that at least in that area I can get some lingerie or anything. She doesn't like that and I try not to say anything because I don't want to pressure her into doing something she is not comfortable with. But she hit me with, "What did you expect from me?" It crushed me because I feel like I have to meet her expectation and anything I expect is not important. She is pregnant now and I know that my needs have to be focused on her and the baby, but I feel like I missed the window where she could have put some effort in for me. Sorry for ranting, but this is not what expected. Oof. Yeah. Way to bury the lead. Couples therapy, stat. If your marriage is on the rocks now, it's going to crash and burn once you add a baby to the mix. Taking care of your relationship is taking care of the baby. Kids can feel tension and resentment in a home. So either find a way to rebuild your marriage, or find a way to co-parent effectively from separate homes. Relationships are a give and take. You're 100% giving, 0% taking. I know you're pregnant, but you need to sit down with her ASAP and discuss counseling, or your relationship is going to turn into the Hindenburg. Bringing a child into the world won't improve your dying marriage. So do an experiment. Only cook for yourself, do your laundry and clean up things that you used. Grocery shop for what you want and need only. You are pulling more than you fair share and for whatever reason, she doesn't see it. I bet she realizes it once you stop doing everything for her. You are certainly being taken advantage of in the housework, money, cleaning departments. Being a good husband doesn't mean you do 200% and she does nothing. She also needs to eat, and have dishes, and clean clothes. I can't speak on the sex thing because nothing you do for her means she will ever owe you her body like that. That's just not how it works. I don't know what would make her more willing, but I'd start with communication. You won't know if you never ask. But y'all need to be a team before this baby comes, not one doing all the work and the other one still complaining anyway. Dude, you don't need couples therapy. You need individual therapy for yourself to figure out why you have no self-esteem and no boundaries. You're basically a slave. Why? Stop being a pushover. When I was in my early 30s, my wife and I bought a larger home to raise our 2 kids in since they were boy 8 and girl 5. At some point she resented the fact that she had to work and split housework that she started doing very little because, if she did it all the time I would expect it all of the time. She is my ex-wife now. Funny thing is the kids are grown, she still works and gets up at 4 a.m. to make her new husband lunch and cleans the house because he is a more traditional type of husband. My wife now doesn't work unless she chooses or do housework because I make enough money where we have a cleaning service and a nice savings and she can do whatever she wants to. She is a selfish person, that isn't going to change. You should have never had kids with her because you will be stuck with all the parenting too. Please feel free to share my message with her because as a woman, I am furious when I hear of lazy women who do this to their husband. Right now, my husband has serious spine damage, so I do everything to take care of him, our disabled son, the home, the yard, and my job. Stop cooking for her, don't do her laundry, and tell her if she won't make an effort in bed, you will find someone who will. If I had a nickel for every single married guy who comes on here saying how he has no sex life with his wife and has been unhappy for years, yet decided to impregnate her. Married men, stop having children in unhappy marriages. If your sex life sucks, a baby is not going to help it. If your relationship sucks, a baby is not going to help it. Kids make everything harder. You need a really strong foundation first, before having a child. I can't even feel bad for you dudes anymore. Like what did you expect? Leave. Things will never be even, but you need to sit down and divide both financial and household responsibilities more equitably. This is your wife, have a discussion, then make a fair proposal. This is going to be harder and even more stressful with your wife pregnant. I strongly suggest you get this done before the baby. If you can't be impartial and unemotional in discussing this, find a counselor, test them out by yourself, then get your wife to come with you. Do these things now to avoid a decade of unhappiness ending in divorce. Haha. You def missed the window, but it wasn't the one. She could have put more effort in for you. You should have gotten out before she got pregnant. Now you are fucked. Oh boy, you were blind and now she's pregnant. This won't end good. Seek help ASAP. I don't think it's possible for you to have married a more entitled person. I've been wrong before, so maybe. Everyone's going to say couples therapy is the solution, but from the sound of it she just isn't that attracted to you, and couples therapy won't help because you can't negotiate attraction. Between you acting essentially like her lapdog but receiving no appreciation for it whatsoever and the unenthusiastic sex, it's pretty clear to me. I feel sorry for you, man, especially now that she's pregnant and you're essentially stuck. I personally think you should leave, but that's just my 2 cents. What led to you guys getting together and being married in the first place? You sound more like a roommate, slave than an actual romantic partner. Having a baby with her without taking into consideration your own wants and needs is a big mistake. 1. What made you want to marry this person? Was none of this behavior obvious then? 2. Honestly, don't do her laundry anymore. Don't do shit for her. This person doesn't respect you and doesn't care about your needs. This has been made abundantly clear. 3. Divorce. First, you need to leave. She sounds abusive AF. Second, when she has the baby, get a paternity test. If it turns out to be yours, fight for at least equal custody. Reverse the genders, and imagine what kind of values your child will internalize seeing a marriage like yours. Oof, you're in that meme situation where a couple thinks their problem will be fixed by having a baby. You made a huge mistake there. I would advise some counseling for both you and your wife, and stop being a doormat for her. Sounds like you're her personal servant instead of her husband. You're doing way too much. Stop that. Here's an eye-opening video. Don't do anything around the house for a week to show her how much you do. Dude, cut this shit out now. You guys are equals. You do your shit at work and come home and do most of the household work. Stop, bring a good husband, and get your wife to be a good partner. You guys are a team. If you're unsatisfied with your sex life, she needs to work on that. I think that a lot of these responses are wonderful, like the marriage counseling. I think your wife takes advantage of you and agree with a lot of things stated already. If nothing else that was suggested works, you could try pulling your own weight, and that is it. Stop doing her laundry and only do your own. Whenever you use a dish, clean only yours up after, etc. Since she is pregnant, I would do her side of the messes when she asks you, which might get her to see how much work you put in. If you have children, obviously don't split that up, but if it is only you and her, then it might get her to pull her own weight. It is a taste of her own medicine, I suppose. I'm not entirely sure if this is a good idea, so take it with a grain of salt. Cut and run. This sounds fucking awful. My wife of 30 years and I have approached our marriage as more of a partnership. It's not strictly 50-50, but pretty darn close. Neither of us feels unappreciated or taken for granted, and we each kinda play to our strengths. Do not bring a child into this marriage or you will be fucking miserable, as it's a metric shitton of work 24/7 for the first 10 years, the first 6 of which you will be operating sleep deprived. Imho, born of experience with 2 awesome children. Yeah, this happens in marriage. Be aware that things will probably get more strained after your child arrives. Try to focus on doing what's right for that baby, regardless of where things stand between you and your wife. Brother, it's going to get worse. If she does have income but feels unwell to clean, maybe part of her dollar can go to a cleaning service? Wow, I'm straight as fuck and I'd marry you, no homo. Your wife sounds ungrateful. I suggest you pause on the hand-squeezed orange juice. How long have you been married? Sounds like she checked out on you and you sound like an absolute doll trying to hold it together for an ungracious partner who thinks she just deserves to be treated like this. I would DNA test that baby. So after birth, is she also going to expect you to change diapers, bath, cook, clean, babysitting, wife sitting and have to wait nearly 3 years before hearing thanks or I love you, and only because you taught them to speak. Get her mirage kunkeling, posably sign a separation agreement as a wake-up call. Get yourself a DNA test just because. Keep being an excellent husband, work to have a matting wife. Y'all gonna divorce and we'll be here for ya. You decide how to live your life. If you want to live like a pathetic loser who does everything, and gets nothing, then no one's going to stop you. Ask yourself if you can live this way for the next 50 years with the additional burden of taking care of kids and be content. If not, get out before you have any more kids with this lazy, selfish woman. Dude, you're a slave. Leave her and reclaim your life before it's too late. Sorry to be blunt, but it's the truth. Wait, let me get this straight. You make the same money yet you pay for everything. Why? You have an overgrown baby, not a wife. If she's really as selfish as you're describing, then divorce her and move on. Kids probably not yours. Everyone's being too nice, seriously. Your relationship is dead, she doesn't love you. Sounds like you are a henpecked husband, dude. You have failed the eternal shit test. What you have to do is start asserting yourself. You are clearly unhappy with the current state of your marriage and life. It will only get worse. Women do not respect a man who gets run roughshod. I'm not saying you need to be a 50s-era male dominator, but you need to grow a backbone and lay down the law a little bit. Your life will almost certainly improve. P.S. When that kid pops out, I would recommend getting a paternity test. Especially considering that she clearly doesn't respect you from the information provided. It's not a nice thought, and I can't really imagine how devastating it would be to get a negative result. But it's better safe than sorry. Very similar to my marriage. I do the cooking, cleaning, laundry and pay all the bills. Occasionally she will send me money, do some laundry or dishes, but it has to be asked and sometimes it starts a fight. Communication is key, but we are lacking that, and honestly it's exhausting. I DK about your situation, but after working 16-hour days, I'd like to come home to a clean house and dinner made, but I typically have to do that. Well, you ain't ever getting recognition now, that's for sure. One thing you can do is stop doing some of the things that burden you and let her deal with it. You are not obligated to carry the household on your back, and that's definitely not something you want to be an example for your child. Now for me, I am very unsatisfied with our sex life because she just seems very unenthusiastic about it and just wants it to be over. She wants it over because she doesn't enjoy or look forward to having sex with you. You do everything for her, and she does very little for you. This is what you showed her. You are deserving of no respect. You did everything wrong, and unfortunately, it's probably too late to fix this. Women don't want to have sex with a man they don't respect. So from what it sounds like, you do the lion's share of the work that is required to run the household and feel that you should get something for that. Your priorities are so far out of whack. How about striving for a more cooperative effort as a couple? Or maybe ask yourself why your wife doesn't appreciate what you do. Do you often use the efforts you put in for your family as ammunition for having her do something for you? Sexual satisfaction is a lot easier to achieve if you actually love and respect each other. It doesn't sound like either of you do. Man, if you don't divorce her ass. Sounds like she's only with you cause she wants a butler. Please get into relationship therapy. And start doing at least one thing that is specifically for yourself every day that helps you de-stress. My husband was in a similar situation to you. He was overworking himself, and I've been so busy I just didn't notice until I came home one day and he was still in bed and knew something was wrong. Your mental health is important, and your self-care is important. Focus on you for just a little time each day. I'm going to be blunt, but, does your wife do literally anything to suggest she gives a damn about you? It seems everything you do she responds to with apathy and boredom. To me it just sounds like she isn't into this relationship anymore. Assuming she ever was in the first place, and is only here because of the sunk cost. The fact that you mention Christian values, plus a completely dead sex life, makes me wonder if your wife is gay and only married you out of religious pressure. You are not in a relationship, you are her personal manservant. You should not have a baby with this woman. All of that work will fall on you too, and she'll say because you're the one that impregnated her. Well, you've become your wife's bitch doing all this. It's about time you don't give a fuck for a change? And see how things go. If you are afraid to have a grown-up fight, then you always be below and be giving nothing and X-hang. Stop doing stuff around the house. Tell her you are doing everything around and stuff needs to change or she can fuck off. You need to chat with the folks from our dead bedrooms. This was exactly like my marriage. And now my resentful ex is so jealous that I'm happy, and she isn't, she never was. Though, that it is making the divorce process much more drawn out and painful than it has to be. My condolences. I hope it works out better for you. Where the hell is the partnership in your marriage? You sound like live in help. What the hell? That sounds miserable. What does she do to help maintain the home? I can't believe you would willingly add a baby to this mess.